It is a pleasure and an honor to be able to address this group today. We have been given only 10 minutes to speak, so my presentation will be concise. There will be a panel discussion this afternoon, so I encourage you to ask any questions you may have at that time. In 1937, Zen Shuji was designated as Ryodai Honzan Hokubei Betsuin Zen Shuji, the representative temple of the two head temples, Eiheiji and Sojiji, and the head priest at that time, Reverend Banjo Sagumo, was designated as Sokan, or Director of the North American District. Since then, there have been 9 Sokan. I was installed in April 2010 as the 10th Sokan when Reverend Gengo Akiba resigned. Our district stretches from Canada in the north to Panama in the south. Presently, there are 57 Kokusai Kyoshi and 1 Kyoshi in our district. We have more than 370 priests who are registered with Soto Shu. There are 22 registered temples and centers, and there are 25 other centers where Kokusai Kyoshi are actively teaching. There are also many other Zen centers scattered throughout North America. It is possible to divide these temples and centers into 2 main categories. Those that primarily serve the Japanese American community, and those that primarily serve the general American public. First, let me speak a little bit about the 5 Japanese American temples. 3 are located in the Los Angeles area: Zen Shuji, Seoul Zenji, and Long Beach Buddhist Church. The other 2 are Sokoji in San Francisco and Monterey Zen Shuji in Monterey, California. Generally speaking, these temples are similar to Japanese temples in that the main functions are the same: to perform funerals, memorial services, and other annual ceremonies. They also serve as places where various forms of Japanese arts and culture are taught and practiced, such as Shakyo, Budo, Kado, Chado, and Taiko. Zen Shuji was founded in 1922 by Reverend Hosen Isobe. Isobe Roshi was a Kaikyoshi in Hawaii who was asked by Hioki Bokusen Zenji if he would do missionary work on the mainland. The temple was started in a brick building which served as the temple for nearly 50 years. In 1969, it was rebuilt in its present form. Each year, the Obon Carnival is held at Zen Shuji in July. This is the major fundraiser of the year and serves to bring many of the temple families together to help out. In December of each year, we pound nearly 1,000 pounds of rice to make mochi. This is also a popular community event. A relatively new fundraiser is called Casino Night. This year, we will have our 90th anniversary and are presently raising funds to refurbish the temple. We also devote 1 Sunday each month to a 1-day Zazen sitting, and in December, we have Rohatsu Seshin. Sokoji in San Francisco was founded in 1934, also by Reverend Isobe, and has a history that is similar to Zen Shuji's. Sokoji is well known in the U.S. because Reverend Shunryu Suzuki, who founded the San Francisco Zen Center, was the resident priest there from 1959 to 1969. The main fundraiser of the year at Sokoji is the Takoyaki booth at the yearly Cherry Blossom Festival, held in April. Sozenji in Montebello was founded in 1972 by Reverend Shuyu Kurai. Reverend Shuichi Kurai is presently head priest of Sozenji. He is also head of the Taiko Center of Los Angeles, a Japanese-style drumming group which has become quite popular. This year, Sozenji will celebrate its 40th anniversary. With a declining membership in the founding families and their descendants, the question of how Zen-shuji, as well as the other Japanese American temples, can continue is a big question. It is our hope to attract new members by offering Zazen meditation and courses about Zen Buddhism, as well as other ways such as Goe, tea ceremony, and Shake. Our vision is to integrate the interests and needs of the Japanese American community with Americans who are looking for a place to practice Zen within an environment influenced by Japanese culture. Our Sokangu office is busy with many activities, but I would like to mention 3 of them in particular. We are creating new educational materials to help explain Buddhist teachings and customs to the younger Japanese American members. This past year, we finished our first pamphlet entitled Kuyo. This is a concise explanation of the Japanese custom of making offerings either to the Buddha or to one's ancestors. Altogether, we plan to make 5 pamphlets covering such topics as memorial services and temple etiquette. Another activity which we have been doing since 2006 is inviting a Tokuha Fukyoshi to speak at various centers in the U.S. A Tokuha Fukyoshi is a specially dispatched teacher who represents the Zenji at events around Japan. This has proven to be an effective way to introduce Japanese teachers to temples and centers around the U.S., which otherwise would not have contact with such a teacher. A Tokuha Fukyoshi usually visits 6 or 7 temples and centers each year. We are also trying to develop interest in Baikagyu Eisanga. This year, a group from North America will participate in the 60th anniversary of Baikagyu Eisanga that will be held in Japan in May. Now I would like to speak a little bit about Zen centers that primarily serve the general American public. In the 1960s, young people in America struggled to find a way to build a new society. This so-called counterculture was looking for solutions to the problems of the Vietnam War, racial discrimination, pollution, and poverty, among others. It was the wisdom of non-duality, attainable through the practice of single-minded sitting, or shikantaza, as taught by Reverend Suzuki, Hakuyu Maizumi, Dainin Katagiri, and others, that was especially appealing to many Americans in the 1960s. These people were also attracted to the emphasis in Zen on living a simple life in tune with nature, the peaceful reputation of Buddhism, and the aesthetic of Zen found in many of the art disciplines of Japan. The focus of Zen centers is, first of all, offering a place for people to sit in Zazen, various courses about different aspects of Buddhism, and many other activities, including meditation retreats, sewing rakusu, zafu, and robes, as well as outreach work at prisons, in hospices, and with homeless people. San Francisco Zen Center, which is the oldest and largest Zen center in North America, has 3 separate locations: City Center, Green Gulch Farm, and Tassajara Zen Mountain Center. Each location has its own unique characteristics. City Center is a facility which serves people living in and around San Francisco with all sorts of programs, including sesshin, study groups, and recovery groups. Green Gulch Farm is located 30 miles north of San Francisco on a farm, where large amounts of organic vegetables are grown and sold in order to support the Zen Center. People may also learn how to do organic agriculture. Tassajara Zen Mountain Center is the monastic arm of the center, where for 6 months of the year, people from around the world come to practice a relatively traditional Zen monastic practice. For the other 6 months, Tassajara functions as a spa resort where guests pay to enjoy the hot springs, workshops, and natural setting. Bushinji, also known as the Zen Center of Los Angeles, is another center located in the middle of a large city. 30 residents live and practice Zen together, many of whom work outside the center at their own occupations. They sit in zazen in the mornings and evenings, take classes, participate in retreats, and generally practice together. This is quite different from a Japanese temple, and it is likely that there is nothing in Japan like this kind of Zen center. Yokoji, located 2.5 hours by car from Los Angeles, was formerly connected with ZCLA, but is now an independently run monastery. Yokoji is where the Soto Shu Shuritsu Senmon Soto was held in 2009. At that time, 15 monks from around the world gathered for 3 months to do a traditional Japanese-style Zen monastic practice. There are usually 5 to 10 people, ordained and lay, training at Yokoji. Great Vow Monastery is located in Oregon, in a former elementary school. Presently, there are about 15 people living there. They grow many of their own vegetables, have a marimba band, work with the local community at schools and so forth, and are particularly well known for their connection with Jizo Bosatsu. There are many, many other centers, but there isn't time to mention them now. In America, there is no traditional financial support for Buddhist temples, as there is in Japan. So finances are always a concern at such centers. To provide regular financial support, these Zen centers must charge for meditation retreats, workshops, and other goods that they produce and sell. For me, the following teaching of Dogen Zenji sums up the teaching of Soto Zen. To study the way of Buddha is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the ego self. To forget the ego self is to be enlightened by all things. People in North America are looking for liberation from their fears and anxieties. They are looking for freedom from the sufferings of birth, old age, sickness, and death. The Buddha taught that there is liberation from such sufferings if we can let go of our self-centered opinions and simply entrust ourselves to the Dharma. The Soto teaching is that practice itself is enlightenment, that everything in daily life is Zen. The teaching of the two founders is that Zazen, whether in stillness or in activity, is the quickest way to affirm that we ourselves are the Dharma, as we are. This is surely the most appealing aspect of Soto Zen for most Americans. This is the way to forget the ego, which is the greatest hindrance to realizing that we always are in a state of peace and freedom. This is surely a concrete way to nurture world peace, because true peace must begin with each person. I think this is what brings people together in America to support our Zen temples and centers. Thank you so much for listening and for your interest. Mahalo.
Thank you, Bishop Rumei and Reverend Matsumoto. Now we will move on to a presentation by the Soto Zen Buddhism International Center. May I ask the director of the center, Reverend Issho Fujita, to make the presentation. He will be assisted by Reverend Ikki Tambara. Onegaishimasu.
Aloha. Aloha. Very nice to meet you, everybody. My name is Issho Fujita. I am the director of the Soto Zen Buddhism International Center, Soutoshu Kokusai Center in Japanese, located in San Francisco, California. I would like to outline of our activities at the International Center. The Soto Zen Buddhism International Center was founded on July 31st, 2002. Its predecessor, the Soto Zen Education Center of North America, was established in April 1997 in Los Angeles, California. The Soto Zen Education Center began at the Zenshuji Temple with the purpose of promoting Soto Shu's dissemination activities in English, educating kaikyoshi and priests, and improving missionary ministry for the members and followers of Soto Shu teaching. The Soto Zen Education Center sponsored Zen retreat or sesshin and seminars or symposium in close connection with existing Zen centers. Our relationship with Zen centers were not so close before this, but through these joint activities, our communication and relationship with many Zen centers has been strongly improved. In 1999, the Soto Zen Education Center's office was moved to Sokoji Temple in San Francisco. Then, in 2002, the Education Center was reorganized as the Soto Zen Buddhism International Center in order to promote the overseas dissemination activities more systematically and to develop the Soto Zen Education Center more actively. The International Center's purpose is to promote the overseas dissemination activities based on the Soto Shu doctrine and on the plan of dissemination and education. It also has a mission to cooperate with the international regional offices in the 4 districts, Hawaii, North and South America, and Europe. Our tasks are, number 1, to advance overseas dissemination activities based on the annual plan for dissemination and education. For example, translation of the message of the head priest, which is edited to be relevant for people outside Japan. This is posted at the Soto Shu's multi-language website. Or assist Soto Shu special dissemination teachers, Tokuhaku Kyoshi. Number 2, to promote overseas activities sponsored by Soto Shu. For example, lecturing and helping with management at the Dendo Kyoshi workshop. This happened from 2002 till 2006. Lecturing at helping management at Soto Shu Training Monastery from 2007. For example, we have a training monastery at Zendonien in France in 2007. We have a training monastery at Yokoji in the US in 2009. We have training monastery at Shogoji in Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan in 2010. We have a training monastery at Yokoji in Ishikawa Prefecture, Japan in 2011. Number 3, planning and carrying out various seminars and workshops. For example, we had a workshop on performing a funeral ceremonies for members and followers, or writing Dharma name workshop on making Dharma names, workshop on writing Dharma words, and so on. Number 4, collecting information about overseas disseminations activities at temples and Zen centers outside Japan in relationship with social condition of the place. For example, we make on-site inspection of temples and Zen centers in Hawaii, North and South America and Europe. Or we visit those temples and Zen centers to have Dharma talks and teaching Zazen. Number 5, transmitting information and providing materials. For example, publishing the International Center's newsletter, Dharma Eye, twice a year. Or providing English Shakyo kit. Number 6, introducing and distributing publications from Shumucho. For example, Soto Zen, Heart of Zen, Shobogenzo Zimonki, or pamphlet, The Practice of Zazen. Number 7, working in cooperation with each international regional offices in the 4 districts. For example, working together with a North American office to produce dissemination materials. Number 8, other necessary activities. For example, assisting the Sotos and text translation committees, or translation, checking English, contributing articles to Sotoshu's multi-language website. Last October, we sponsored a Soto Zen Buddhism International Symposium under the theme of Advance One Step Further. Soto Zen opens the way to the future. We attempted to assemble people from many countries in one hall under Sotoshu's banner in order to foster mutual understanding. Starting in the 60s, mainly in North America and Europe, many people started practicing Zen in the Sotoshu tradition of teaching, which emphasizes Zazen beyond the difference of race, social custom, and culture. Now, many Zen centers are established around the world, and they are involved in many kinds of activities. Sotoshu teaching has spread into not only Japanese communities in Hawaii, North America, and South America, but also throughout the Western world. This is very unique to our Sotoshu compared to other Japanese Buddhist schools. I believe this is a strong proof of the universality of what Dogen Zenji and Keizan Zenji taught. There is a wide variety in the buildings and styles of Zen centers in the world. Some are small zendo in one room of an ordinary house. Some were once old castles. Some are located among tall buildings in a big city. Some are located at the end of unpaved road in a deep mountain. Some have a large garden for organic farming. All of them are diligently practicing in their own way, creatively finding a way to accommodate their culture and customs. In this symposium, we aimed at showing how Soto Zen keeps spreading all over the world and developing in many different ways. And we also hoped that people involved with Sotoshu in many places would get together and deepen their relationship through this symposium. Thanks to much support from many people, we had 67 monks, nuns, and practitioners from Hawaii, North and South America and Europe. More than 160 people from Japan joined as well. During the symposium, we had a charity bazaar for the victims of the Great East Japan disaster. For this, each international office collected donations of items from each district and had a booth to sell these local products that show the unique features of each place. It was very well received and well attended. We donated all the proceeds of 245,350 yen to the Sotoshu Relief Fund. I would like to borrow this opportunity to show my heartfelt gratitude to your kindness and participation from Hawaii and North America. This year, we will start a new and exciting project of making a collection of important keywords in Sotoshu teaching. Through this work, we intend to clarify what the Sotoshu teaching is all about. What does it mean when we say we carry the seamless tradition handed down through successive generations of ancestral teachers by intimately transmitting the true Dharma from heart to heart from Shakyamuni Buddha? We believe we should express the uniqueness of our teaching in this religiously pluralistic world. This effort will begin this April at the Sotoshu's multi-language website. We will add one new keyword every month. Please check it out and enjoy. Thank you very much for your attention. Mahalo.
Thank you, Reverend Fujita and Reverend Nampara. Now we'll have the final presentation of the slideshow. I'd like to call on Bishop Shugen Komagata to make the presentation for Hawaii Soto. He'll be assisted by Reverend Shuji Komagata.
I will be presenting to you a short slideshow about the Sotoshu temples in Hawaii and its activities. The official beginning of Sotoshu in Hawaii goes back 109 years. In 1903, when Reverend Sen-e Kawahara founded Waipahu Taiyoji on the island of Oahu, and Reverend Ryoun Kan founded Kawai Zenshuji in Wahiawa, Kauai. Currently, there are 9 Soto Zen temples in Hawaii. First, there is Betsuin Shogoji, also known as the Soto Mission of Hawaii, located in Honolulu. Founded in 1913, Shogoji was officially recognized as Betsuin, or branch temple of the 2 head temples in Japan, in 1921 when Archbishop Sekizen Arai visited Hawaii. In 1904, the year after Waipahu Soto Zen Temple Taiyoji and Kawai Soto Zen Temple Zenshuji were founded, Kawairoa Ryusenji was founded on the north shore of Oahu. This temple was later relocated to its present location, Wahiawa, in 1976. In 1906, Mantokuji Soto Mission of Paia Maui was founded. In 1914, Daifukuji Soto Mission was founded in Kona on the island of Hawaii, also called the Big Island. Only a year later, in 1915, also on Big Island, Taishoji Soto Mission was founded in Hilo. Soto Mission of Aiea Taiheiji near Pearl Harbor was founded in 1918. The last of the Soto-shu temples in Hawaii, Guzeiji Soto Mission of Molokai, the only Buddhist temple on the island, was founded in 1927. Now I'd like to introduce the different kinds of activities, events, ceremonies, and services that have here in Hawaii. Adapting to Western society, Sunday services and family services were started at each temple. Each temple has many weekly, monthly, and yearly activities that keep their congregation busy and alive or active. Most temples have a baikako. We are grateful to have a baika instructor from Japan come to conduct workshops every year. The temples promote the Japanese culture through their many classes. For example, Minyo and Buyo. Dance classes are offered at some temples. At the Soto Mission of Hawaii, tea ceremony has been practiced for many years. Kendo, Judo, and Karate are just a few of the many martial art disciplines offered. Iaido, Aikido, Tai Chi, and even Fukiya, or Japanese blow darts, are also popular activities offered. There are calligraphy classes such as Shakyo and Shabutsu, as well as Sumie art at Waipahu Taiyoji. Kumon, math, and reading centers operate at the Soto Mission of Hawaii, Wahiawa Ryusenji, Molokai Guzeiji, and Waipahu Taiyoji. Nearly all of the Soto-shu temples in Hawaii have a taiko group. Each group started under the tutelage of Fei Komakata, founder and leader of Hawaii Matsuri Taiko, the first ensemble taiko group of its kind in Hawaii. Several temples have Zazenkai, which sit regularly. Monthly Kanoko and Jizoko services are held at most temples. The New Year's Daihanya Gokito ceremonies are well attended. The annual Bon service held at each temple is one of the most important services. Most of the temples have between 2 and 4 days of Bon services, except at between 10 days. At the Soto Mission of Hawaii, there are 14 separate services from which people can choose to attend. Bon dances continue to draw large crowds of people of all ages and ethnicities. In Hawaii, Buddhist weddings are becoming popular once again, as are blessing services. We visit members and friends regularly at hospitals, care homes, and even at their residence. Each temple holds a fundraising event, whether it is a huri chicken sale, rolling sushi or sushi maki, a bazaar, ramen sales, or craft fairs. This is vital for the survival of our temples. At the end of the year, we have Mochitsuki. Some temples still do it in the traditional way. And there are volunteers who help with all kinds of temples chores throughout the year to keep the temple clean and make it a place of comfort. From early on, the temples began Japanese language schools, Sunday schools, sewing schools, and even opened dormitories for college students. Instrumental in the process of Americanization of Japanese Buddhism was Reverend Shinkaku Ernest Hunt, who, with Reverend Jiho Machida, wrote books in English that were used as the material for Sunday schools and family services. Reverend Hunt's wife also contributed many gathas that are sung in English today. Being one of the biggest Japanese language schools, a large building was built for the Wakei Gakuen at the Soto Mission of Hawaii. After the demand for learning Japanese language diminished, the Soto Academy, a private elementary school, was brought to the Soto Mission of Hawaii in 1990 and is a thriving school today. In 1948, in an effort to better support and address the needs of each Sotoshu temple in Hawaii, the Hawaii Soto Mission Association was organized. The Hawaii Soto Mission Association, or HSMA, continues to meet twice a year for meetings, conferences, and retreats. Since the beginning, the backbone of each temple has been the women's auxiliary group called the Fujinkai, the United Hawaii Sotoshu Women's Association, or UHSSWA. It's made up of all the Fujinkai members of each temple and was organized in 1966. Each year, an annual conference is held. The task of hosting is handed to a different temple each year. We have a lot of fun at these conferences, where we not only have Dhamma sessions and meetings, but also a country store and activities like singing, dancing, and playing games. The Jizoku-kai, an organization consisting of the ministers' spouses, serve as the board of advisors for the UHSSWA. This group of people work so hard, oftentimes behind the scenes. Along with the ministers, they provide leadership at the temple and have played an extremely important role in developing and nurturing the Hawaii Sangha. The Sotoshu temples in Hawaii are like the colors of the rainbow, each holding a unique quality and distinct color. Yet, together we are all one in forming a beautiful, colorful, and bright ray of the Dharma light that stretches across the island chain. Thank you very much.